Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And maybe I should make that an emphatic welcome back to another video with Swaggle Haas. Swag, what are you talking about? Welcome back. I always come back to your videos. Oh, do you? Oh, do you? Because last week, when I was making a video game video, nobody wanted to talk about it. Nobody wanted to watch it. Worst performing video on the YouTube channel for a long time. And now, guess what? All of a sudden, Legendary Pictures options Street Fighter 2 property video game movie in the works. And now, the market is feeling all kinds of FOMO. Nobody wanted to listen to Swag talk about Street Fighter 2 1 from 1993, Malibu comic, first appearance of Street Fighter in comic book form. Nobody wanted to hear about that. But now, with this announcement, everybody wants to talk about Street Fighter 1. Everybody's looking to get that comic book. Well, sadly, I guess Swaggle Haas cannot create FOMO out there in the market. But that's not to say that FOMO is something that doesn't still exist. So in this video, I want to talk a little bit about all of sort of the recent news and announcements and all these things that have been kind of going on, and ask ourselves the question, rather make a statement that I think that the market needs FOMO, just not from the MCU right now. But before I get into it, if you guys could drop me a like, comment, subscribe if you're enjoying the content, helps support the channel, doing those things, I would appreciate it. Speaking of FOMO, 2 days left. No, 69 hours left. Giggity, get your mind out of the gutter. 69 hours left. Link in the description. If you're not going to watch my video game comic book YouTube videos, maybe you could consider backing my written comic book. But let us get into this video here today. Now, we had a slew of recent announcements. We had the Blue Beetle trailer come out. We had the Into the Spider-Verse trailer come out. We had the announcement of Street Fighter 2 getting the deal from Legendary Pictures and possibly being turned into a live-action property. We also have some MCU stuff. Secret Invasion trailer came out. We also had the announcement that Liv Tyler was coming back for Captain America 4. They laughed at me when I talked about Incredible Hulk 168. Well, guess what? Nobody is laughing now. Well, actually, they might be, because nobody is buying Incredible Hulk 168, which I think is kind of the interesting thing, is that no one is feeling FOMO for Marvel properties right now, but they are feeling FOMO for DC stuff. And that's the first thing I wanted to talk about today, which was, of course, Infinite Crisis number 5, first appearance of Jamie Ray's Blue Beetle in costume. This book has absolutely been blowing up like no book we've seen in the recent, months out there in the comic book market. Of course, we recently got the Blue Beetle trailer that came out, and it's very, very interesting to see it because, look, maybe you're somebody out there who thought the trailer was good. I myself thought it was like the trailer you would see for the generic superhero on a plumber van. I mean, there's no way for me to sugarcoat it. I did not think it was the most interesting trailer I had ever seen, but that doesn't stop the market from absolutely losing their minds on this book. I mean, I'm not going to count it for you guys, but if I scroll down right here, you can just see how many Infinite Crisis number 5 books have been going on sale out there in the market. Yeah, this is just in the last couple days or so. Scroll, 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 down, down, down. Got to go to the other pages. Needless to say, you will be seeing this book on every single hot list there is this week and probably the next week and probably for the next couple weeks to come. And to me, I find that really, really interesting because not only did we know that this movie was coming, not only have we heard that they've been doing Blue Beetle for a long time, but, this book has been one that has been, spec'd on by the market for, over a year now, which is crazy to me to see that when we got this trailer, that I think is fair to say wasn't the greatest trailer you've ever seen in your entire life. There is still FOMO being created for a book that we already knew was coming. Now, I think that that is more a testament to the fact that the market yearns to FOMO over a book. The market wants to go crazy for something, but they just haven't been able to do that for any of the previous Marvel properties. Everyone has been so burned out on it. And even if, Blue Beetle isn't the greatest movie ever, people were excited to just get their hands on something. They want something. Now, there could be a lot of people out there that really do believe in the Blue Beetle character. Again, I kind of feel like if this movie doesn't do well, I doubt that we're going to see Blue Beetle carry on into the James Gunn universe. I mean, at this point, nobody really knows, but obviously if the movie does well, then James Gunn will feel the pressure to carry this character over. If the movie doesn't do well, like Black Adam, then James Gunn will probably be like, we don't need to do this version of the Blue Beetle. I mean, that's not to say that he won't ever do his own Blue Beetle version at some point in the future. Maybe he will. But, I think that there is still a lot of question marks with this movie and how these DC films going into the James Gunn universe are going to have a hand later on down the line. But again, tabling that, all that aside, the market still needs to FOMO. It really does. It really needs some book to get excited over. And this particular week happens to be Infinite Crisis number 5. Now, if you're somebody out there who actually is interested in this book and wants this book, just know that it's the Jim Lee variant that has Blue Beetle on the cover. That is the book that the market wants. There is an Infinite Crisis number 5 that is the cover A, I believe, that doesn't have him on the cover. Nobody really wants that book. And that is reflective of the prices where you can see GPA lumps it all together. And in the 9.8 grades, sometimes you have ones going for $285, $275, and then sometimes you have ones going for $89 and $90. That's because they've clustered together the Jim Lee variants and also the regular covers. So you can tell that the Jim Lee variants are the ones that, the market actually really wants. Now, $285, $275, those are pretty decent sales overall. I mean, it's not like we're doubling or tripling overnight like we were in 2021 and even some parts of 2022. But, it does seem to be slightly higher than what we were getting, say, last month, where the book was $200, $230, $275, $245. So, maybe $10, $20, $30 more overall, depending on what sale. Now, again, this is nothing in comparison to some of the peak prices that we were getting in 2022 when you saw the book regularly go above the $300 price point. I think that there are even times, in this book's history that, it was commanding prices like $400 and even $500 at a time. So while, there is FOMO, there is demand for this book, it's not necessarily setting that record high price, but, a lot of volume is still a testament to the fact that the market wants to get their hands on something. Similarly, another book that has been lighting up the charts based on FOMO is, of course, the book that I was talking about, at the start of my video here, which is Street Fighter number 1. Now, here you see the deadline article, Street Fighter film and TV rights secured by legendary movie in the works. Now, if you go over here to the Swagglehawks YouTube channel, you'll notice that a couple days ago, I happened to make a top 5 video game comic book video. Nobody wanted to watch that video, but hey, I don't blame you guys. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not here to shame you guys. I'm just saying that here I was talking about Street Fighter number 1 from 1993 by Malibu Comics just days before the announcement. And all of a sudden you get this announcement and here you see all of the sales for this book lighting up the charts. I've been seeing it sell on all sorts of online pages on top of just eBay, not setting, crazy record prices, although we did get a gold edition CGC 9.8 sell for $400. That's definitely the record in grade for that one. Just something to know, this was a book that came in a poly bag. There's the regular cover A, and then there's the gold edition, which you can see the Street Fighter has this sort of gold title over it. And that set a record price of $400. I don't think that there's been a CGC 9.8 sell yet in the regular cover. Would be interesting to see what that book would sell for in comparison to this. I'm not really sure how much more rare the gold edition is in comparison to the regular cover. Now, last little thing I wanted to talk about before I kind of talk, overall about FOMO currently going on in the market is how we had this announcement just the other week. Liv Tyler joins Captain America New World Order, reprising role from 2008 Incredible Hulk. So, she's coming to Captain America 4. It feels like we're going to get a lot of Hulk storylines. And of course, Betty Ross, the character, makes her first appearance in Incredible Hulk number 1. So no one is going to FOMO over that. But, with the fact that the leader is also going to be in that movie, it does sort of beg the question, are they going to do Betty Ross as the Harpy? Which is why I talked about Incredible Hulk 168. But interesting to see that this is a book that did not sell that much coming off of the announcement. I mean, we have 3 sales here, over the course of the last week, which is basically nothing. I mean, I think that you probably would have got 3 sales for this book anyways if, the announcement didn't even happen. So it just goes to show that, while the market still wants to FOMO on stuff, they're really not FOMOing on the MCU stuff, because even when we got the Secret Invasion trailer, there really wasn't much, movement for that particular, or the books associated with that. I mean, we did get, the official announcement that Emilia Clarke was maybe going to be the character from the Meet the Trolls book. That did have a little bit of movement, but nothing to the effect of what we saw with Blue Beetle. Nothing to the effect of right now what we're seeing with Street Fighter #1. On top of that, we also got the Into the Spider-Verse trailer. And while it is harder to figure out what books may have correlation to movement off of that trailer, it didn't really seem like we got a lot of excitement for that either. Now, that could also just be the fact that we've already seen the Into the Spider-Verse trailer. Anyone who already wanted to FOMO on whatever book is related to that movie already did so. So there's not much, meat on the bone, so to speak, of people that still want to hop on the bandwagon. So, we'll table that one for now. But I do think that it is very interesting to think back to this idea of, the market needing FOMO. I almost kind of wonder if FOMO is to Joker what Batman is to the comic book market. Did I say that correctly? You guys know what I mean, right? Joker and Batman need each other, and the comic book market and FOMO, in a way, need each other. Or at least they have a symbiotic relationship where the market is always going to have a book that it FOMOs into. It's always going to do that. Now, whether or not the market is actually, 4x spending on a book, that's a whole other thing. I don't think we're necessarily doing that. But you can see that, the market wants to jump on certain books. It always is going to have a top 10 list that week. But it seems to be that it is currently unwilling to do that with any of the MCU properties because of the fact that I feel like everyone out there in the comic collecting world has been so burned by Marvel collecting over the last, few years or so. So everyone is interested in these new things, like still DC at this point, and, like some of these video game comic books, like Street Fighter #2. Anyways, that's all I got for this video. That was me just sort of talking about, all of the little interesting things that have happened over the course of the last week or so, some of the things that have been popping up. I just wanted to kind of do a video that kind of encompasses all of it. The market is still, going to FOMO on this stuff. Shout out to Josh's comics. He's trying to create this FOMO for Darkhawk #1, which, of course brings a smile to my face. I might do a separate video on that later. I'm waiting to see what the results of his campaign are. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, at some point later down the road, I will do a video about this and you guys will see. Anyways, that's all I got for this video. Kickstarter, still live. 2 days left, guys. 2 days left. Check it out. I'd really appreciate it. You may want to FOMO on that book. Anyways, that's all I got. Like, comment, subscribe. See you all in the next video.